going on, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. I'm your host, Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we're going to discuss some trade rumors around Jonathan Kuminga, Coby White, and Nikola Vucevic, as all three of these guys could be on the move this summer, so we'll break it down on today's show. But let's start off here with Jonathan Kuminga. It was Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype discussing the Bulls being a possible destination for Kuminga, saying the Chicago Bulls and Miami Heat are two teams to monitor as potential sign and trade candidates for Kuminga. With that in mind, the Warriors have also not ruled out the possibility of retaining Kuminga. And quick thought here on Jonathan Kuminga, he is a very polarizing player because, there's no doubt that the upside is there. He is just this natural athletic ability where he is one of the better athletes on any single floor he steps on. But if you ask Warriors fans what they think about him, they don't really think he contributes to winning a whole lot, which is true. There's a big reason why Steve Kerr didn't feel comfortable playing him, especially during the tail half of that season. So there's some pros, there are some cons. So we'll break down what he would possibly bring to Chicago Bulls. But how much would a contract go for Jonathan Kuminga? Well, Bobby Marks said this, saying projecting a new contract for Kuminga is trying to master the Rubik's Cube. A contract that starts at $25 million gives Golden State the flexibility to fill out its roster and remain below the second apron. Now, I think $25 million for Kuminga, obviously, that would be projecting a little bit that you would hope that he would make that contract worth it, because if you got what he has given you so far in his NBA career, I don't really think that makes a whole lot of sense. But you would be banking on him just taking those next steps and developing a whole lot more over the next couple of seasons. And for the Bulls side of things, I would be willing to take a risk on Jonathan Kuminga. Now, if the Bulls were in a different spot, where let's just say they were like the Cleveland Cavaliers, New York Knicks, one of these teams who feel like maybe they're a piece away from getting over the top, I'd probably steer away from Kuminga. But with the Bulls being in no man's land and really having no direction, a guy like Kuminga would actually make some sense, because let's just say he does work out and he ends up being a really solid starting, level forward in the NBA. That would be pretty damn valuable. And if he doesn't work out, it's not like the Bulls have been winning games anyways over the last couple of years. So we'll dive more into this in a second, but what would you do? Would you trade for Jonathan Kuminga? Give me a T for trade. Give me a P for pass. You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Now, in terms of what a trade would look like for Jonathan Kuminga, Warriors fans, they want Coby White. So it may just be something where it's a straight-up swap, because if it is a sign and trade, you got to be able to attach half of that salary, which ends up being perfect. If Kuminga ends up signing for $25 million, they could just attach Coby White for $12 million. Now, a lot of Bulls fans are probably rushing to the comments section right now. There's no way we're trading Coby White for Jonathan Kuminga. It is fully on the table, and I want you guys to be prepared for that, because I understand Coby, he's a fun basketball player to watch. He's a very, very good scorer, but I still have my doubts if he is a winning basketball player. Now, he struggles a whole lot defensively, and we also have seen in some big games throughout his NBA career, he has struggled. I guess he had that one play-in game where he went and had 42 points on the Atlanta Hawks, but in the two other play-in games against Miami Heat, he was by far the worst basketball player out there on the floor. Now, in terms of Kuminga, he was cooking before he got hurt. The last 10 games, and this was January 4th, the 10 games before that, he was a fantastic player. He was very impactful. He was a willing defender, and he was actually a pretty damn good rim attacker, averaging just under 21 points a game, 6.6 boards, never been an elite playmaker, 3 assists a game, but also pretty damn efficient as well. And he's also shooting the 3-ball well, 37.1% from downtown on 3.5 attempts per game. But when he returned to the lineup, that was when Jimmy Butler got in the fold in Golden State. He really got played out, and Steve Kerr just didn't really feel comfortable playing him during the late stretches of that season, and for right reason. It's not like he was, too fantastic or too, reliable, but you guys see the numbers up on screen. And I will say this, Coby White, he is a better player right now. But also, I would be willing to take a risk on Kuminga, because also me watching the NBA Finals and watching the Pacers and the Thunder, just count how many guys on the floor can't guard. All of them can guard. Even the worst defender on the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, still 6'6". He's got a super long wingspan. He's still able to get some hands on some basketballs and just be, at least serviceable on that side. But Coby White, he doesn't really do that. I understand he's a very good offensive player, but he's kind of just plays his own game. I don't really think his offensive game, can go within an offense where he could maybe be the 4th, 5th option and still remain so efficient. So, listen, I would do this deal. It's just my honest thoughts. I know a lot of people probably, extremely disagree with me. But you guys let me know. Would you accept this trade? Give me an A for accept. Give me a D for decline down below in the comment section. I'm doing it. I understand. Coby's better than Kuminga right now, but the Bulls need to take a risk. They've been floating in this middle of the pack purgatory zone for the last couple of years. So I would trade Coby White for Kuminga. You guys let me know your thoughts down below. Now, we also have to discuss a blockbuster trade that went down this weekend, the Desmond Bane trade to the Orlando Magic. And how does it impact Coby White? Because I was saying, I think the Magic are a perfect team to trade for Coby White. And now that they're off the table since they gave up a whole lot for Bane. I mean, they gave up KCP, Cole Anthony, 4 first-round picks, plus a swap. So they're probably out of the Coby White sweepstakes. But what does this mean for his market? I'm actually going to assume here that maybe the Bulls would just get a tad more, maybe like 5% more on a trade for Coby White. But the question becomes, like, where could Coby White be dealt? And I do think Bulls players right now kind of have a stench or an aura around them where nobody wants them. Like it, because you think about the last 2 trades the Bulls have made, like sending Levine to the Kings, DeRozan to the Kings. The Kings are now in the same spot as the Bulls. Like, I'm sure people are looking at this roster and be like, do we really want to take a risk on anybody on the Bulls? I don't know. But some Coby White destinations here. I mean, I think the Denver Nuggets could be a team that, maybe if they're just trying to get another ball creator next to Jamal Murray, they could be an option. Now, Houston Rockets, maybe they view Coby as a guy that they could, bring off the bench. I think that's a possibility. But again, you start looking around the league, it's tough to find a Coby White destination. Like, I don't know if a lot of teams are too interested in him because of his lack of defense. And we're watching this NBA Finals play out. Like, it almost feels like the whole cliche, like, defense wins championships is truly back. I mean, just look at what the Thunder have done with Caruso and Dort and them just putting these guards in a chamber, like Anthony Edwards in the conference finals. Now Halliburton, he's struggling. Like, I think it's very hard if you are a guard in the NBA and you aren't like a premier top 5 scorer in the league. If you can't guard, it's tough for them to be a positive out there on the basketball court. But I will say this, guys. We're going to be trying to post a video every single day leading up to the draft next Wednesday, and we will be live for the draft. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit that notification bell. We are 45 subscribers away from 12,000 here on the channel. So if you guys have not already, please go down there, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell. And we'll be posting a video almost every single day leading up to the draft. All right, let's talk about this guy. Probably the 100th video I've probably done talking about trading Nikola Vucevic. But is there any way the Bulls can trade Vuce? Like, any possible team that's out there? I think it's unlikely. And honestly, I can't believe Vuce is still a Bull. Like, the fact that it is summer 2025 and we are still talking about Nikola Vucevic being on this team. He is my least favorite player that has ever played for the Chicago Bulls. I feel like he's got a terrible attitude out there. I don't feel like he is the best locker room guy. Yes, he's a somewhat skilled offensive big, but he couldn't guard me off the pick and roll. He can't guard anybody at all on the low block. And, the Bulls play-by-play guy, Stacey King, like, he would always make a joke where it's like switch a Vooch, where teams offensively, they're just pulling Vooch up in these pick and rolls. He just gets lost, and then he's just terrible out there. But I do think some teams, maybe they could call on Vooch. Like, he's got a 1-year, $20 million deal. You could take a risk. Like, maybe the Phoenix Suns, they're in the market to go get a center. I could see that being on the table. But the Golden State Warriors, maybe if they just want to get more talent around Steph. Now, I will say, in that free-flowing Warriors offense, which is constant movement, I don't know if Vooch would make the best fit. Now, him kind of running that playmaking 5 at the top of the key, I could see him being somewhat successful, but still the fit doesn't really make too much sense. Now, I actually do think if I was the Spurs, I would take a risk on Vooch because as bad as he is defensively, you still have Wemby, Castle, just an elite defensive culture there where I think it could kind of mask some of Vooch's, defensive inefficiencies. But watch out for the Spurs and maybe the Boston Celtics. This was a hypothetical Porzingis Vooch swap where, maybe the Celtics are concerned about Porzingis' health and they just want to get a guy where Vooch, give him credit, he does play almost every single game, so maybe they're an option. But also maybe the Orlando Magic. Maybe it's a couple of pick swaps with their, with the last few first-round picks they have. I don't know. Again, with Coby, with Vooch, it's just tough to find any trade destination. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But if you guys made it to the end of today's show, hit me with a C red down below in the comments section. We appreciate all of you guys for watching today's edition of the Bulls Report. And also make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, and also hit me up on Twitter if you guys got any more questions, comments, concerns about your Chicago Bulls. We'll see you all next time. As always, go Bulls.